All right. Thanks, Brendan.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Don Wyrock, City of Porterville, member of the Porterville Area Development Authority. I'd like to call this meeting to order. I'd like to ask for some help with the roll call, please. I don't know who all's online, so if we could go through, we'll just roll call Mr. John Lawless.
Present.
Mr. Neil Perron.
Present.
Mr. Vernon Vera. Mr. Baldo Rodriguez.
Present.
Mr. Raymond Beltran.
Present.
Mr. Shine Nito.
Present.
And myself present. Did I miss any members' names? Okay, at this time,
I believe so, yes.
Franklin, pardon me.
Appointed as member, correct. We're going to need to do reorganization to help assign some of the, we're kind of in a combination now.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lawless. This time, if we could stand and we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Lawless, would you mind leading us in the pledge?
Please join me in saluting the flag. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This is the time for oral communications, an opportunity for individuals to address the Porterville Area Development Authority on any scheduled matter. Unless additional time is authorized, all commentary shall be limited to 3 minutes per individual and no more than 15 minutes total. Is there anyone in the Porterville Council chambers that would like to address the authority in oral communications? Is there anyone at the Tulare River Tribe Council chambers that would like to address the authority in oral communications? And do we have anybody online that would like to address the authority? Hearing none, I guess we'll close the oral communications and move on to scheduled matters.
Thank you, President Pro Tem. We have 6 items before the board this afternoon, and thank you with great appreciation for the board's time in meeting this early afternoon on a Friday. The first would be to consider reorganization of the board of directors. Given the change in membership with new appointees to the board would be the appropriate time for the board to consider its offices. Right now vacant is the position of president of this. The vice president is currently serving as the president pro tem and Vice President Wyrock. So the positions of the board include president, vice president, and secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Lawless. So once we select a new president, they can take over handling the agenda and working through the meeting, correct?
Yes,
Well,
sir.
then, in that case, I'd just like to open it up for nominations if there's anybody that would like to nominate themselves or another person for the position of president for PATA. Well, you know, it's a really great group, and, you know, I don't know, I know everybody's busy, but I would like to nominate Shine Nato, if you'd be open to that, serving as president of PATA. There's a lot of great support behind the scenes to help this be successful. There's a lot of information that's prepared by others that we'll be reviewing today, and we have the support of, you know, many others to help with that, but I would like to propose that nomination. Is there a second by
You
Baldo?
don't get a second, you can just ask if there's any other nominations.
Any other nominations? Hearing none,
You can take a vote now, you can turn your nomination into a motion and ask for a second. if
Okay.
you'd like.
then is there anybody that would like to make a nomination? Well, then I'd like to nominate for the president of the Porterville Area Development Authority, Shine Nato. Is there a second? Thank you. We have a first, and we have a motion and a second. Just a voice vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none?
Vice
Congratulations.
President, I believe we probably will need a roll call vote on that, just because, since I do believe we have some that are, is everybody present in the room?
Of the voting members, they're present in the room.
Oh, okay, great, thank you, but then you're fine, sorry about that, thank you for clarifying.
So that, I believe that would carry 4-0.
4-0? 3-0?
Good question, how to do this. Yeah, carry 5-0.
That sounds correct.
And then with that taken care of, does that open up the position of secretary?
It actually opens, your.
Vice president and
yes,
secretary, right?
Was Mr. Nieto serving as secretary?
Yes.
Yes, then yes, it does.
And how about the vice president position? Is there anybody that would like to serve as vice president?
I would nominate Mr. Beltran.
No, no sabes español.
I didn't catch that?
Un poquito.
Okay, any other nominations?
Oh, okay, it might have been one of my kids, they play with my phone a lot, I'm sorry. Okay, all right.
Thank you, Mr. Perron. Well, then, is there a motion for vice president?
I'll motion for that.
Okay, I'll second that. So all in favor for Mr. Beltran to be the Porterville Area Development Authority Vice President, signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that carries. And then for the position of secretary, are there any nominations for the position of secretary? I'd like to nominate Baldo Rodriguez as secretary. Is there any other nominations or any declines? Not what you want?
He really enjoys going through the minutia of the documents, so I think that's a great position. Next week, they call it administrative professionals.
Yeah, well, hearing no other nominations, we'll close nominations, so then I'll make a motion that we appoint Mr. Baldo Rodriguez as Secretary of PATA. We'll call, is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded. And then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Carries 4-1.
Barely carries forward.
You know, I really appreciate everybody's openness to this and the little bit of humor that we shared. And again, I just want to express my appreciation for staff and the different accounting methods and, seeing the percent complete on a lot of different items. I think there's going to be, on this topic, less and less to do going forward. And I know we all hope that Porterville and the greater area around us with the tribe, that there's more and more opportunities for us to help bring a real great lifestyle to the residents in around this part of Tulare County. So with that, I'll turn it over to our new president for the remainder of the meeting, and Mr. Lawless. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I guess we just keep moving on, because I like to get things done, I guess, and move along. So I guess we move on to item 2, approve the draft minutes for February 17th, 2023. Consideration to approve the draft minutes of February 17th, 2023. That's item number 2.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes.
So we got a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? I guess the minutes have been approved. I gotta get you guys' names, I just know you guys' faces, and on the res, we make names for you guys so we remember who you are, but,
I know what my nickname is. I've already heard it. I don't know. You have to ask. I don't know what the appropriate protocols are. You'll be bestowed.
Very nice.
Let's count on that one. What's what? My bad. I guess moving along now, we got the count. So it's item number 3, city reimbursement and eligible expenses and construction update of the tertiary treatment wastewater facility, collection system, and recycled waste infrastructure project.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before the board is consideration of approval of expenses by the city of Porterville to the Tulare River Tribe for the design and construction of tertiary treatment facility project, and then we'll provide an update for the submittal for January, reviewed and approved, or submitted for approval to the board is $414,591.92. And for the month of February, $790,539.43 for a combined total of $1,205,131.35. It's a recommendation the board take approval upon those submittals for January and February.
Just for clarification, this is payment to,
This would be payment to the Tulare River Tribe, which in the end pays the contractor.
second part, so these documents have been signed by the public works director of the
Yes, they've all been reviewed and approved, ready to, for reimbursement.
Is there any more comments in the room or online?
Just a quick question. I see that column D, the work completed this period, bottom line, I guess would be line 72 of $460,000 for a 78% completion. That 78%, that's just budgetary amount. How is the schedule with that for scheduled items and the completion of the total project? Are we right at 78%, or have we done 85% of the work for 78% of the cost?
Yeah, it is a billing percentage, more so than the project schedule. Brad, would you have an update on what the contractor schedule's looking like? It should just be a few more months.
Yes, their current schedule is to finish the month of August.
Thank you.
Does anybody on the Zoom got any comments or questions?
If I may ask, just a quick question, because I noticed a lot of dash marks here. This is work still outstanding, correct?
would you be referring to?
I'm looking at column C on the document that was referenced earlier. Let me just pick
cor-
any of these. There's, some of these are pretty big numbers here.
Mhm.
$120,000 AC pavement, things like that. No money, no amount has been paid towards that, correct? It says 0%.
Correct.
And this is the work that they anticipate to be done by August.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay, very good.
And then another question, if I may. This is just for, this is for all of these progress payments? Item 3 or is item 4 of scheduled matter going to the next one? Each one's separate, correct? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so on item 3 is just to the TWSF. Next would be the storm drain, which is a separate project.
Thank you.
So how would you guys like to move forward on this?
I've had a request, if Baldo, you could speak into the mic. It's not picking up on the audio.
Baldo, your first chair can't hear you.
Okay, very good. Again, I make the motion that we approve.
I'll second.
Okay, you got a motion from Baldo, to board member, to approve, seconded by Mr. Beltran. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Let's count on that one. It's still on. Five zero zero. And you guys got to bear with me because
It's hard to transition in the middle of a meeting.
no, it's not that. It's just I forgot my my European sightseers. So I didn't know this was going to happen too much. I thought you were just kidding with me, and we was kind of in a hurry to come down the hill, so I forgot the sightseers.
Sightseers.
Yeah, so I can't really see that.
I'd be happy to, if you want to move along. I'd
Yeah,
be
can
happy
you?
to. Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Because I feel like I'm drunk again.
No.
Drank in 23 years, so.
No worries. Although I'm pretty close to having to have European sightseers myself, so.
All right.
So on to next item in order would be number 4, which is consideration of city reimbursement of eligible expenses and construction update of the storm drain recharge retention basin project. This is based on the earlier query, this is a separate project from the tertiary wastewater facility. Second separate project for the development of a storm drain recharge retention basin to the west, adjacent to the Frank Kern Canal. Mitch Brown is the contractor on this, submitted for payment of $601,235.90, which have been reviewed by city staff and found appropriate for review. There is pending final approval of the certified payroll and proof of registration of the project with the Department of Industrial Relations, but wish to have approval upon those details being satisfied. Okay. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments? Anybody in the room or online?
I was a little bit curious on the grading. I was out there probably 2 months ago, and it shows here as far as the, I don't know if, if this goes down to just the financial or the completion of the project at 18%. I'd imagine it's financial given the previous conversation. I'm just surprised that that side of that's not done. Item number 3, the retention pond grading and excavation. It looked complete, but I'm not sure where that's at.
Yeah, there's still several weeks of grading and excavation to take place.
Okay.
And again, this is for February, so sometimes we're a little bit in arrears on the submittals. So this is work as of February. I think it's February 17th, or there's a date that's.
Yeah, February 24th.
But this, if I may, but this progress payment is suggesting he's close to 20%. That's correct?
Right,
Okay.
right. And of course, we had when we see the next invoices, it'll have slowed down in March because of the storms, but they've made good progress after that.
Brad, do you have anything to comment on this?
Yeah, they're about 55%, maybe a little more, away through the dig. The storm drain pipe is starting to arrive. They're gonna start installing it in May. We project them to be on West Street around the month of June. So a quick update for you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
A further update, the city is in negotiations, I think close to culmination of negotiations with the Knuckles family for expanded easement between West Street and the storm drain basin itself. We're close to finalizing those negotiations on the acquisition of the easement. I think you'll soon see that on a city council agenda.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else got any comments or concerns or anything they want to say?
Yeah, just a quick question, thank you. Has there been any contractual, I don't want to say, I'll say it, force majeure or potential change orders, and do we have budget amounts for those due to the storm and extra work that's outside of their specs or their scope?
Not right now, because the pipe hadn't arrived and they solely were focusing on earthwork. But, once we start uncovering the ground for the pipe, there's always the unknowns there.
Yeah,
But at this time, there are no change orders.
okay. And no notice from the contractor that there may be something coming?
No, not right now.
Thank you. Nothing else.
Any more comments or concerns?
I make the motion, we approve this item.
I'll second that.
Okay, got a motion to approve item number 4. Second, I got a second on that also. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? 500 again?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead and, Mr. Lawless, if you
Sir.
please read number 5.
Yeah, certainly. Next two items in order do not have enclosures, so it would be mostly or a report. So local, next item in order, number 5, is local roads and improvement coordination. This has been a subject of continued discussions between the tribe and the city in regards to the MOU and implementation of the EIS and the improvements that come underneath that. There's subsequent to the EIS, which talked about traffic controls at Scranton and Westwood and Scranton and West, have been subsequent discussions about roundabouts at Scranton, which was already either a traffic signal or a roundabout, which I would say is kind of first in order, the roundabout at Scranton and West. There is also to be further to the, on Westwood, further to the north, in an alignment of what's called the Future Worth extension. But essentially, at the far north end of 160 acres the city has at the end of the runway, there'd be another roundabout, which right now is programmed for CMAQ federal funding at about 90% funding. And then right now, under the EIS, there's a proportional share funding between the tribe, the county, and the city, tribe being the predominant funding source at that roundabout. And then there's a new road to account for the future expansion of the runway to the northwest of approximately 3,500 feet So currently 6,000 feet would be extended to 9,500, about 9,500, that's what we're talking, 9,500 feet to the length of Fresno's runway. And so the rerouting of Scranton, or what we call the west realignment to Westwood, accounting for that. Found out yesterday that Congressman Valadeo's, they call it a community project funding, has advanced to the House of Representatives Appropriations Committee. So it's a $3.5 million, what we call an earmark, by Valadeo, is advancing forward to the House of Representatives Appropriations. The mayor and I will be in Washington, D.C. the second week of May to further those conversations and talk about the what we call the shift of the runway and the lengthening, again, from 6,000 to 9,500. So there was a funding formula presented to the Tule River Tribe, which has been found to be agreeable. So
Is this the one that's a three-way split among the costs?
So there's a three-way split between the tribe, the city, and the county at West and Scranton. That'll be a roundabout, and that'll be, like I said, I think the first improvement that will move forward. Subsequent, there'll be another roundabout on Westwood and essentially at the far north end of where the 160 acres are. And then those two roundabouts will be connected by a new road that will follow essentially the north and the west contours of the 160 acres that would allow then the runway to be shifted further to the northwest. And it's that road project that has the $3.5 million earmark attached to it. It's about a $12 million total road improvement estimate.
The extension of the runway is the city's, that's the city's cost.
And that will be one of there's meetings that will be had with the FAA when we're there, and it's securing future funding in the capital improvement project for that. And again, the earmark is a significant part of, because the road realignment was already in that airport project, and so it's going to be modified to show that the road improvements will be done before the runway, and therefore making it perhaps a project advancing forward, because a significant part of that capital improvement as well as the financial component will have been addressed already.
John, that earmark money, if it goes through, that's a fiscal year
24.
24.
You'll have to be under construction in the 24, 25. So we're currently environmental is underway, I guess, Jason. Environmental is underway and design. So we will need to be under construction in the 24,
25?
by 24. Because it's going to be in the 23, 24 federal budget. So it will need to be under construction, I would say, before October of 24. It will have to be within the, because it's programmed for 20,
You have to start it at
should it
least.
be granted, it's got to get through appropriations, then subject ultimately to the House's budget. It would be, which of course has some controversy to it right now, but in essence, it would be programmed in the 23-24 federal budget, which begins in October. So in that course, it would have to begin under construction by October of 24, and finished in 24-25 is what I would say.
Thank you, John.
Any more comments in the room or online? So I just want to move forward with this stuff.
It's really just,
This is
it's
just
not
for
not for
discussion?
action, it's really
Yeah.
just for discussion and
Okay.
update.
So there's no more discussion on this? I guess we could go to move forward to item 6, Mr. Lawless.
Certainly. Item number 6, Tule River Tribe Active Transportation Plan. It previously reported that TCAG, Tulare County Association of Governments, was providing up to $3 million to proceed with the Swinging Bridge project, which subsequent to your last meeting, the Swinging Bridge that was existing is no longer. It's significantly damaged by flows of the Tule River during the March flood events. So actually very timely that this was an identified project and actually two bridges that would be constructed as part of this project, as well as other safe streets improvements in and around the administrative offices. So that is still on track. There's continued to be engagement by the state on this. Because this is on federal lands, NEPA is going to have to be completed. Even though it's state funding, it's on federal property, therefore NEPA is also going to have to be done as part of in addition to CEQA. And then there's just some minor corrections that are needing to be made, but it's an exciting opportunity, one that the state of California, it's very unique to see a COG, as it's called, funding an improvement. I think it's the first time a COG has funded an improvement on a reservation on federal land. So there's a whole lot of, when you're the first, there's a whole bunch of questions you ask, and one of them was, do we need to do NEPA, even though it's not required for the funding, but because it's on federal lands, it needs to have NEPA as well. So, and there's extra funding that's been programmed by TCAG to account for that. It does take a little bit longer than CEQA, but it's being built within the timeline for the improvement. Four Creeks continues to work on design. There's some modifications to the design. And I think you're going to see, because of change in topography of the Tule River, what does these new, there might have been preliminary engineering, but what do final designs look like based on current conditions?
Can you give us a little bit on what it's going to look like? Do you guys have an idea what it looks like right now, or is it too early?
I've seen like a rendering, but that's just based on and again, what was existing, what was that, November? Around November, so what was in November, what topography looked like in November might be a little bit different than it is today. But two pedestrian bridges, one in proximity to the existing damaged one, and then one further to the, I guess that'd be to the west, connecting to the Justice Center. That was where the second one was going to be located at. I have a diagram I can certainly provide, and that would be good for future to.
You have a rendering.
What that, well, and what it's a locator map, I guess I would call it. I can send that to the board, actually, happy to do that.
Yeah, add to what he's saying, the lower location for the bridge, it's just, like I said, the flows come through, it widen out the river, so we'll probably have to build up the banks of the river again, and then
Right.
the rendering, you'll be able to.
Is that the one that had a lot of
No,
slope to
that's
it?
the one lower down the road by the come out, when you come out.
Okay, uh-huh.
Looking at the Justice Center.
Yes, uh-huh.
It just widened out the whole river bottom, so
Mhm.
might have to build the banks up, and then the rendering will still be, I think it'll be good.
So you're gonna have to put in some big abutments or something.
Yeah, something, because it just,
Wash
when the river
it out.
flowed, it just widened out.
The river rose 18 feet.
And
Entrance out and other things. In our higher country, where we go up there in our trucks and jeeps, you can't even get up to there. Just wiped out chunks of the road and sections.
well, even now, there's still just one lane of traffic in and unimproved at the moment, right? If I heard correctly.
Get the county to
Leave it.
help us out to fill it up and so we can start working on it. Maybe pushing.
Historical flows, I bet.
Oh, and there's a meeting going on right now in Tulare talking about what's coming. So the good news is the impacts aren't, at least of current, there's concerns about Kings River. They could see flows of 17,000 CFS, which right now is 12,000 CFS, and it's probably not designed to carry that kind of flow. But that's coming out of Pine Flat, and then Kings County is under tremendous, it's going to be under tremendous threat.
Is there any more discussion on item 6? I just had a question for you, Mr. Lawless. With William Garfield being gone, taking another job off council now, is there anybody that you needed to have take his place from the tribe? Or?
Councilmember Sierra, I believe, is the, yeah, she's who the tribe identified as being the, yeah.
Anybody else got any comments or concerns or questions? Is there any other matters anybody wants to talk about? I just got one. I don't know how many of you guys are coming out there on May 9th. I think Mr. Magroni, our GM, said that it's going to start at 10 o'clock in the morning for the ribbon cutting. So if you want to say anything on that, Matt?
Sure, thank you, sir. Yeah, you all will be receiving invitations, formal invitations, but it is May 9th, and it will be starting at 10 a.m. with the ceremony, speakers, and unfortunately, I know that the mayor and the city manager will be out of town, but we welcome all city council and staff that have been very helpful in this regard. I can't tell you how long it's going to last, but we're going to have a party. That's all we can. There's no time limit, and we're just going to have a great time and celebrate this momentous occasion for the tribe.
May I ask, is this open to the public after that? Open right now. It's open right
The
now?
casino's open right now as a soft opening, and
Soft opening.
there will probably be people playing and gambling while we're doing the ribbon cutting. We'll be doing the ribbon cutting under the porte-cochere area in the front, which will be roped off. But even if the public wanted to join in and participate, well, witness the ceremony and the ribbon cutting, there, by all means, they can. But we will have reserved chairs for all our invited guests.
Very good, very good.
So that's pretty much all I had with the other matters. If anybody else has any? Or any more questions for Mr. Magroni about the opening? It looks like after that's adjournment.
Yeah, I would like to say just as there's been the soft opening beginning really this week, and appreciate the coordination that's been between city and casino and tribe staff in that regard. So, and wanted to say congratulations to the president
Thank you. I don't know,
and vice president
And
and
vice president
secretary.
and
Yes, I would
secretary,
say.
I might be like Baldo right now. Thank you guys. We're always, happy to be a part of what you guys are doing also as a tribe, from the tribe standpoint. Speaking, on behalf of our chairman, which me and Franklin enjoy being by and learning from. He's always had a big heart for everybody. So we're just trying to help him out. And so if this helps our tribe out and helps the city out, we're all for it, because we all live here and we're all, we're neighbors. We've been neighbors for years. And so, we just want to make where we live a better place also.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so thank you, guys.
Very good.
With that, I think we need a motion to adjourn, or unless you guys want to keep sitting here.
Yeah, motion to adjourn to May 19th.
Can I make that a motion?
You have a second? Okay. Got a motion to adjourn, and then also a second. Still learning the names. I know Baldo motioned, and still trying not to call Mr. White Rock Chris Farley, so.
That's awesome. That's not the official reservation nickname, by the way.
But, yeah, we got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? 5-0-0. You guys are adjourned. Free to move out the country.
Thank you, Mr. President, we're good.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye. Ceremonial thing.